I've got in the studio 2 doctors who will be helping us dissect this topic. Very warm welcome to Dr. Hilda Boy Mante Bia. She's the President, Pediatric Society of Ghana, and Specialist Pediatrician, always a mouthful, at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Good morning to you, Doc. Hope you're doing well.
Good morning to you and your listeners.
Good to have you in the studio. Also joining us to have this conversation, Dr. Naziru Tanko is Deputy Programs Manager, Expanded Program on Immunization, EPI, at the Ghana Health Service. Dr. Tanko, good to see you. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing well, in yourself, and thanks for having me.
How do you both keep healthy generally? Because you are the custodians of health. Are you guys doing a lot of jogging, a lot of running, a lot of fruit eating? Because if you're not, then me too, I won't do some.
Hey.
just to find that out.
Yes. So leadership by example.
Yes.
So we are all into it. A bit of the exercises, fruits, having a balanced diet. It's something that we always ensure we do. So we'll encourage you all.
This weekend, which exercise did you engage in, Doc?
So it is usually a fit that we take around early in the mornings, and by 6-9 o'clock you are done and you are back to take your shower and you are good to go.
Certainly. Dr. Hilda, what about yourself? How do you stay healthy these days?
So all the things that he mentioned, and also my house chores.
Okay.
So
that's vigorous enough for you to burn some calories.
Yes,
okay.
It is. But I've also recently joined the gym.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, and I do 3 times a week. In between the walking and the house chores, help me to keep fit.
All right, we have some good role models in the studio, so we're in safe hands this morning. We all need to do more. I certainly need to be doing so much more to stay healthy. But this morning we want to talk about something that's very important. We're talking about cervical cancer, and I want us to dive straight in. Dr. Hilda, I'll start off with you. When we talk about cervical cancer, what exactly are we talking about? And then also educate us on what the earliest symptoms of or signs could be.
All right, so cervical cancer is cancer, and cancer is abnormal growth that occurs. And with the cervix, this is like the area that is the tip or the entrance to the uterus or the womb of the woman's reproductive system or the female reproductive system. So that is cervical cancer. The early symptoms, well, I don't know whether to even say it's early, because often it will not show any symptoms.
Okay.
And by the time you get to see symptoms, it's probably already late or has started spreading, and that may make your chances of full recovery or cure reduced. So some of those symptoms are bleeding. In between your menses, you could have bleeding, and you also could have vaginal discharge, which is offensive and bloody.
Okay.
Then there's also pain during sex or painful sex. So that's another sign or symptom that could tell you that you may be having cervical cancer. There could be the lesions or the swellings, the soreness, those you may notice or see later. But these are, and the reason why it's very important that you do the screening and you do the preventive things is because of what I said earlier, that you may not see symptoms until it is late. And that is why the preventive aspect is very important, so that you are not sitting there waiting to see symptoms to make a move to the hospital, but rather you take steps to try and prevent it.
So that even at the point where you're seeing bleeding in between your menses, you're having painful intercourse, you're probably advancing.
Yes.
And so you've waited maybe
too long.
Yes. Dr. Tanko, that's why screenings are important. Getting your cervix screened as often as you can is important. And what age would you say then that women should start getting screened? And after that, how often should they be doing it?
Okay, so thank you very much. So for cervical cancer, globally there's a strategy all countries are pursuing to ensure that we are able to eliminate it completely. First is that we should ensure we are able to protect our young girls. By the time they turn age 15, we should be able to vaccinate them with the HPV vaccine. Then, subsequently, the issue about the screening will come in. So by age 35, at least the woman should be screened with a high sensitive test that will be able to pick up the pre-cancer lesions or suspected lesions that may point to the development of a cancer early, so that she's put on treatment. So by age 35, at least she should have been screened, or even earlier, depending on what the situation or the context is. And if she does it at age 35, then she should repeat it by age 45. So these are areas that we would like to encourage our listeners to always do. But more importantly, taking or ensuring that the young girl, before she takes or she turns 15, she received the vaccine. Because with the vaccine, when we are able to reach at least 90% of our young girls between that age 9 to 14, as we have scheduled by the Ghana Health Service to protect our young girls, then we have taken virtually about 90% of the preventive step, such that for those that, for one reason or the other, will go ahead to start developing the lesions, then we'll pick them with the screening early and then put them on treatment.
Now you talk about HPV. What exactly is that, and what is its connection there with cervical cancer?
Right. Okay. So it is known that for cervical cancer to occur, the virus that usually trigger or start or cause it is the human papilloma virus. And that is what we usually will abbreviate as HPV virus. So with this virus, the vaccine targets preventing the woman from getting infected with the virus, such that without the infection, then you have been able to protect the young girl from getting the disease. And remember, we are saying that we are targeting them as early as 9 to 14 years.
Right.
Because again, as my colleague Dr. Helder mentioned, when you are infected, it takes a long time for it to progress, to start showing you the sign and the symptoms. So the earlier you protect yourself, the better, because even when you get infected, because it is very latent or insidious, or it is very quiet, then the tendency for the individual to even pick it up and seek healthcare early is not there.
Right.
And so our surest bet will then be that, okay, let's protect our young girls such that by the time they turn 14 or 15, they are protected. Then the screening will also follow by the age 35 and 45 as WHO recommends.
I see. Dr. Hilda, what are the main risk factors that increase a woman's chance of developing cervical cancer? I suppose we've talked about HPV. What else could be at play that would increase her chances?
All right, permit me to chip in a few things. So we've talked about cervical cancer. The ages that commonly people tend to have it is from about the age of 40 to 50 years. And you could have people getting it before those years or after their 50 years. And in Ghana, we have about 3,000 women who are diagnosed with cervical cancer each year. Out of this number, unfortunately, we lose about 2,000 of these women each year.
That's staggering.
Yes.
So out of the 3,000 that are diagnosed, 2,000 will lose their lives?
Yes. For the reasons that were mentioned, that it may be found late and then there may be delays in getting treatment and all that. The other thing is that with these numbers, we've mentioned 2,000. It sounds like, it's not such a big number. But if one of these 2,000 happen to be from your home, happens to be a breadwinner, happens to be a mother, happens to be somebody that a family cares about, then it's 100% loss and blow to that family and also to the state, and it could happen to anyone. Now, let me go into the risk factors that you talked about. So someone who has not had HPV vaccination is at higher risk of developing cervical cancer compared to someone who has received the HPV vaccination. Then people who start having sex early they are also at a higher risk of developing having HPV and developing the cervical cancer. If for any reason you are sleeping with multiple partners, your risk of developing cervical cancer also goes higher. And if your partner is also sleeping with multiple people, I mean, none of us follow them when they are going wherever they are going. And
that's right. You just never know
that you are being faithful to one partner, but if that partner is not being faithful to you, then your risk also goes higher. If your immune system is not functioning as it should, you are probably on cancer treatment, you probably have HIV, AIDS, or maybe malnourished, or for any reason you are on treatment that is bringing down your immune system or the soldiers that help your body to fight infection, then your chances of developing cervical cancer also goes up. So you can see that there are many factors, and it's not all of them that one person may be in control of. And that is why it's so important that if there's an intervention that can help to reduce your risk of developing this cancer, not all cancers are preventable. Not all cancers have a vaccine that can be given to prevent them. So if there is one that has this intervention possible, then it's great news, and it's really important that people take advantage of it, especially for these young girls who now have the opportunity. It has been in Ghana for some years, actually over 10 years now. It was given. The people who took the vaccine are doing well, have had children, are doing quite well. So we are not worried that the vaccine doesn't work or that it will cause people to become infertile or maybe even promiscuous. So we know that this vaccine works. And the other very good news that we are all happy about is that now it is going to be part of our expanded program on immunization, meaning that when you go to the healthcare center where your child receives his or her vaccines or immunization, it's going to be there, and they don't have to pay anything for it.
It's absolutely free.
It's free. Previously, if you wanted it, because it's been available in Ghana, if you wanted it, you'd have to pay. It's a lot of money to be able to get it for your child. But now the government is bringing it in, and you and I don't have to pay anything. The market woman sitting in the market can send her girl child who is from the 9 to 14 years to get the vaccine. The banker, the doctor, the professor, the kayaye, everybody is covered. And it's really good news for us.
Absolutely. Dr. Tanko, then tell us, because something exciting is on the horizon. And I know there's a meeting on Wednesday. Give us some insight into what exactly is happening.
Okay, so the whole activity or intervention will begin with a national lunch on the 8th of October.
Okay.
And then
that's just this coming Wednesday.
Yes. And then subsequently the vaccination date will be communicated as and when, and across all the the regions will be able to provide the vaccination services as we've planned. We've intended stationing them at our various clinics, hospitals, both government and some selected private facilities that will use their premises to deliver the services, religious grounds, derbers, just to ensure that we are able to bring it close to the people during the campaign that we are going to start with, and then subsequently it will continue in the routine program, just like we take our children for what we usually call the weighing services.
Okay.
So that the young girl 9 to 14 years can also walk in at those designated places, outreach points, and then take the vaccine. And we are emphasizing that the vaccines are going to be very free. There is no payment when you are vaccinated.
I like that you added very free.
Yes.
So don't allow anybody to take it. It is free.
Yes. When the vaccine is given to you, you will be given a card to show that, to document that you have taken the vaccine. And then later, when the healthcare workers come around to conduct a survey to at least assess how the rollout or the uptake has been, to show us those actually have been able to reach and those who are yet to be covered, at least you show us those cards. And that card is very, very important, because subsequently for those age groups whenever any vaccine is given again, we are going to use that same card to document evidence of the vaccination. So let's keep it as safe as our Ghana cards as we are doing.
That's right.
So that we'll have continuity of the documentation of our vaccinations and this particular campaign, and then move on forward. So we urge each and everyone to make him or herself available. Our caregivers, we are going to target them in schools, especially because that age group, about 90% of the target will be in schools.
Certainly.
Then those who are out of school, we also target them on the farms, at the market centers. So
you're leaving no stone uncovered, making sure that it touches everyone.
Actually, Rich, that's we say no one should be left behind when it comes to vaccination. So long as you are eligible, then there should not be any barrier or any reason why we should leave you behind. The service is doing everything possible to reach out, and we are calling on all our listeners, caregivers, religious leaders to make it a point to use it on their purpose, help us sensitize the population for them to make these young girls available so that we are able to secure their future against this deadly disease, cervical cancer.
Fantastic. On Wednesday, we'll certainly be following along with the journey so that we can also communicate the dates, so that we can all take advantage. We've gotten some very useful information this morning about cervical cancer, and learning that it is preventable and we can do our part to ensure that the future is bright is very important. So we're very grateful that you were here this morning to speak to us. On Wednesday, there'll be that launch, and then we'll find out the exact dates and ensure that between the ages of 9 and 14, our young ones receive this vaccination. As Dr. Hilda said, those that received it a decade ago, they are thriving, they are fine, they have children, everything is well, and everything will continue to be well. Docs, thank you so much for your time this morning. Dr. Hilda Boy Mantibia, President, Pediatric Society of Ghana, Specialist Pediatrician at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Thank you again. And also Dr. Naziru Tanko, Deputy Programs Manager, Expanded Program on Immunization, EPI, at the Ghana Health Service. Also grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you.